Well, I think we can go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome all of you to Lincoln Unified School District's retiree reception. I'm Michelle Tatum. I'm Associate Superintendent of Human Resources. And for some reason, I am way more nervous tonight than I am when we're in person. So bear with me. I am looking forward to our evening together. So it's my pleasure to welcome all of our retirees and all of their friends and their families that are joining us tonight. Before we really get into our program, I'd like to introduce some special guests that we have with us tonight. Our Lincoln Unified School Board of Trustees. I'd like to ask each of them to introduce themselves, please.
Hi, everybody. Kathleen Solari. So happy to be here with you tonight. And a little sad, this will be my last retirees celebration. So I am looking forward to celebrating with all of you.
And I'm Nori Palmer, and also glad to be here virtually tonight to celebrate such great work by so many of you, and so grateful that my own children were able to be in your classrooms and at your schools through the years. So deeply thankful. Thank you.
Yes, I just want to join my colleagues in saying how glad I am to be able to celebrate you tonight, even though it's virtually. I want to thank everybody who organized this. I know it's a challenge to put all this together, and I'm even thankful for the delivery of the decor so we can try and make this as special as possible. I too have a real personal connection to tonight's reception because more than one of you taught my kids as well, and so we just want to celebrate you tonight, and I'm really glad to be here.
I think I'm going next. I'm not sure. Good evening to all the retirees. I'm Terry Tutapali, and this month I'm celebrating my 9th year of retirement after 33 years of teaching Lincoln Unified. I have 2 special friends that are retiring this year. Roz Lopez, who took my place when I left John R. Williams, and my dear friend Renee Wergler, who I taught with in the social science department for many years at Lincoln High. I know how you're all feeling. I thank you and congratulate you on your successful careers. You're going to have a fantastic time. I tell you, retirement is great, especially not setting the alarm clock.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm the last one to speak. I'm Tony Yaden, and it's an honor to be here to celebrate with you guys tonight. This is always one of the highlights of my year as a board member, just being able to hear the stories of your dedication and your commitment and just the care that you've put into making Lincoln what it is today. So thank you for letting me be a part of it. And I just want to say thank you to Michelle and the HR team for their work to make this possible.
And then next, I'm going to ask our superintendent to introduce herself.
Good evening, I'm Kelly Dextrace. I'm very happy to be with you tonight, celebrating your many years of dedicated service to Lincoln Unified and wishing you well as you move into retirement. Look forward to spending the evening with you.
And next will be our Associate Superintendent of Business.
Good evening, I'm Rebecca Hall. Welcome, Michelle. Everything looks beautiful. I want to congratulate all the retirees for all your years of service at Lincoln. Thank you.
And our Associate Superintendent of Ed Services.
Hi, I'm Lisa Cheney. I'm grateful to be here to celebrate with all of you tonight. Thank you for your years of service and congratulations.
So also with us on our Zoom call are our presenting district administrators, and I'll let them introduce themselves a little bit later. We've got quite the virtual evening in store for you, but first I want to do some shout outs. I want to give many thanks to our human resources staff, Kim, Rebecca, Mary, Paulette, Wendy, Rebecca, Otila, and Juanita, who took to the road and delivered to your door, our retirees' doors, dinner, some fun, and your special retirement bell. I think they had a blast doing that. We have one retiree joining us from Florida. I know she received her bell, and although I had many volunteers who wanted to personally deliver her dinner, we couldn't quite pull that off, but she's settling for a local pizza delivery. So hope she's enjoying that as well right now. A huge virtual round of applause for Mary Kate Kane, our Human Resources Administrative Assistant, and Patty Kelly, our Executive Assistant. They've coordinated and orchestrated all behind the scenes, so yay to them. And a shout out to Anthony Martinez, our IT Director, who will keep us up and running, so thanks, Anthony. It truly takes the whole Lincoln family to throw a virtual party. So I think we can all acknowledge that this isn't our preferred mode of celebrating you. I guess the upside is you can enjoy your evening in your favorite recliner and your slippers with an adult beverage. You don't have to worry about finding the perfect outfit or making sure you arrived at the farmhouse on time. The downside is that we're not present with one another to hug or handshake, high five, or witness the smiles and our in-person voices. But we're not going to let that stop us from doing our best to bring you a special evening in the comfort of your homes. So it's so important that we honor all of you, our retirees, and your service and your commitment to the district. This is my 21st year participating in this reception, and it is truly a favorite for me. I believe it is a true demonstration of the Lincoln family. And what do families do best when they get together? Well, they share a meal and they tell stories. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So I just want everyone who's listening to know the parameters that I've tasked our administrators with. I asked them to prepare a short recognition speech for each of you. As you can imagine, that's a challenge when we're talking about the amazing service of all of our retirees, but I know they're going to give it their best shot. So we're going to start off with our Brookside principal, Kat Bender. Kat, you can take it away. Kat, you're on mute.
There we go. Sorry about that. So I'm going to actually intertwine Roz and Mary and do it together and separately. So I have the pleasure of honoring Roz Lopez and Mary Regan. So Roz and Mary at this time should be reliving the simple days of the 1800s at Valley Days, wearing bonnets and guiding students to stamp wood and teaching them the art of using a washboard for laundry. Instead, they're providing instruction virtually by facilitating Google Meets and using Flipgrid, learning new technologies and programs at a rapid pace. Probably not how they ever imagined their final quarter of their teaching career, but nonetheless making the very best of the situation and doing what they are so incredible at doing, reaching our students and families in the most joyful and supportive way. Roz and Mary at Brookside School, these are 3 words that often just become 1 word. So the loud laughter coming from the staff lounge with teachers and hysterics, it must be Roz and Mary. An issue concerning 3rd grade, we need to check with Roz and Mary. If you need some advice or the next good book, ask Roz and Mary. They're such an integral part of our staff, the glue that keeps us like a family. They're so much a unit, professional partners, confidants, and friends. It's only fitting that the institution of Roz and Mary retire and end their careers in the same year. They leave quite a legacy. While so many of us consider them one team, maybe because they've taught side by side since 1994, they do deserve recognition individually as they each bring something unique and special to their students and our staff. Let's begin with Mary. Mary Regan began her career 40 years ago at a small elementary school in Lake Havasu City in 1989. Her boyfriend, now husband, got a job in Lodi, so off Mary went to follow the love of her life to California, where she began teaching for Lodi Unified and stayed there for 10 years, teaching both 4th and 5th grades. She then transitioned to the district, Lincoln Unified, to be on the same schedule as her children, Natalie, Amber, and Sam. At Lincoln Elementary, where she heard from a friend that a teacher named Roz Lopez was looking for a job share partner in 1994, teaching 3rd grade. It made sense for both of them since both had young families and children. This grade suited Mary, and she has remained a 3rd grade teacher, finishing her career at Brookside for the last 17 years. Mary is one of those people that lights up a room. She exudes a genuine happiness with the most incredible smile and distinctive laugh. Her love for what she does and for her students can be felt each time you walk in her classroom. There are countless students that have been positively impacted from her teaching. As a matter of fact, one of our middle school teachers was talking to, having a conversation with the students in class about some of the memories that they've had from Brookside. And many of them mentioned math with Mrs. Regan. So they mentioned their third grade teacher. Her influence goes far beyond the classroom. Her colleagues rely on her for advice, deeply respect her professionalism, and enjoy simply being around her. Mr. Keltoff had this to say: everyone should be more like Mary. She has a lightness to how she approaches her job, a real professionalism, and she finds fun in teaching young people. And our math teacher, Brandy Davis, said this on reflecting on some words of wisdom Mary gave her when she had had her third child. I remember the comfort of her words as she reassured me in a time where I was scared. Her simple words and gentle smile eased my mind immensely. I don't think she ever knew the impact that her words had on me at that moment. As you can see, Mary has made a significant difference in many people's lives. I'm excited for Mary as she takes on this next journey, and I'm sure her days will be filled with fun adventures with the family she loves. Congratulations, Mary, and thank you for your service. Know that you have left a lasting impact on our students and staff that will be felt for a very long time. So that's the wonderful Mary Regan. And now on to Roz Lopez. Roz grew up in Stockton, but left right after high school to attend college. She vowed not to return until she met her future husband while away, who happened to be from Stockton. So at last, she returned to this area to finish college at UOP and started a life and built a family. Well, thank goodness she returned. Roz Lopez's illustrious 37-year career has all been right here with Lincoln Unified. She began as a 6th grade teacher at John R. Williams, where she took over for none other than Terry Tutapali. Roz then taught at Lincoln Elementary, first and 5th, then in 4th, and finally settled in 3rd grade in 1989, a grade she has taught for the past 30 years. Throughout her career, Roz has exhibited a gift for making connections with students, families, and staff. One of her previous administrators wrote, "Her sense of humor is genuine. She cares and expresses it openly. Her students soar because of her dedication and enthusiasm for the teaching and learning process. The parents respect and admire Roz." That evaluation was written over 25 years ago, and those words still hold true. Her enthusiasm has never wavered, nor has her commitment to her students and their families. Roz has a true gift in the ability to make connections with each and every one of her students year after year. She works tirelessly to find what works and builds those meaningful relationships. It's something that is important and at the core of who she is. The value of connection and relationships goes far beyond the classroom. It is extended to our families and staff. One of her colleagues, Mr. Coburn, wanted me to share that Roz is kind, thoughtful, and empathetic. She is always willing to lend an ear, offer a hug, give a compliment. Roz has such a spirit about her. I've had the privilege of not only being a colleague of Roz Lopez, but also a parent of a child that had her as a teacher. I saw firsthand how she is able to create lasting relationships with students and truly gets to know what works. I had a child who didn't like to read until Mrs. Lopez came along and opened up a new world to her. She built my child's confidence in areas in which she struggled, and I could not be more grateful. But let's talk about that resounding laugh, the laugh that is so infectious that it travels through the staff room and can result in 35 people in absolute hysterics. And I'm not sure that Roz knows that it's almost a badge of honor for a staff member to make her laugh so hard that she has to excuse herself from the room. That joy and exuberance will greatly be missed. Her vivacious personality, her genuineness and warmth draws people to her. Congratulations, Roz Lopez, on the wonderful things and adventures that lie ahead. I know you'll enjoy your time with your loving family and friends, probably dancing the days away. We appreciate your service and all that you have done for our students and staff. You leave quite a legacy.
Thank you so much, Kat. Very sweet. Next up is going to be Veronica Tigert, principal at Claudia Landine School.
Good evening. I'm honored this evening to share some about Pam Inglis. Pam started as an instructional aide at Mabel Barron. When I asked Steve Overgaard about those early years, he described how honored he was to have worked with someone who was so full of energy and dedicated to being a mom and her job. She raised 3 children on her own while working and completing her college degree. Pam started her first teaching job at Pacific as a 6-8 math and science teacher, and then came to Landine as a 6th grade teacher. Administrators describe her as always willing to learn, team player, sense of humor, and genuine compassion for others. My first experience working with Pam was as a new teacher at science camp. I first learned how good of a sense of humor she had as we left silly Post-it notes in cabins about the students' messes in their rooms. As her principal, I can say Pam cares deeply about students, and she tries to afford students opportunities for creativity and being their own person. I have been so impressed with Pam during distance learning. New technology is not always Pam's favorite tool. I am pretty sure she shed a tear when the VHS player was removed from her classroom. Pam could have easily did the minimum for distance learning, coasted through, but she did not. She has creatively and actively engaged with her students during these weeks and has one of the highest student participation rates at Landine. Pam not only served our country through the Air Force, she has actively served the Lincoln community for 30 years. On behalf of the Landine family, thank you, Pam, and we will definitely miss you next year. So there was a piece of me that was grateful when Debbie Dunn retired after last year's retirement celebration. I thought I had avoided giving a most difficult speech about such a great person. But here we are. So I think it's, Debbie's last stance for a prank on me. But, Debbie served Lincoln for 17 years under many administrators. She had the roles of account clerk, clerk typist, spirit leader, assistant activities director, registrar, and office supervisor. All who have worked with her have similar comments. She's highly organized, efficient, a problem solver, and gets the job done. She was also active in the PTA at Claudia Landine and volunteered as a class advisor at LHS. Debbie helped to start the Link crew. In June of 2016, I was hired as principal of Claudia Landine. In July, I, without hesitation, hired Debbie as my office supervisor. I had worked with her at LHS and appreciated her tenacity and her New York style of meaning exactly what she said. As I was about to embark on this new journey of managing a school in the middle of construction and numerous other challenges, Tom Uslan tells me, if there is anyone who can help you lead Landine, it is Debbie Dunn. Debbie was my rock. She helped my staff and I to rebuild a family at Landine. I would need so many evenings to share so many stories working out of a trailer, early morning calls to deal with full sewage tanks, all the pranks we would pull on the staff, and Debbie sharing her love of working with service dogs with the Landine students. I was happy for my friend when she retired, but was also heartbroken. You don't get many opportunities to work with someone so special. Debbie, you truly are one of a kind. Thank you.
Thanks, Veronica. Next up is going to be Rebecca Mullen, principal of Don Riggio School.
Hi, good evening. My name is Rebecca Mullen, and I'm currently the principal at Don Riggio School and will be honoring Karen Fraze this evening. I love the picture that you guys have of her. It's perfect. Karen Fraze has taught for 34 years. 28 of those have been here in Lincoln Unified starting in 1992. She received her special education credential and would go on to earn a multiple subject teaching credential in 1997. From early on in Karen's career, she was seen as a leader who was always student-centered. Her contributions to the students positively impacted her school communities, no matter where her SDC class was housed. Karen started her career at John R. Williams, went to Mabel Barron for a year, returned to John R. Williams, and then landed at Pacific School in 1999. She stayed with the Visual and Performing Arts School and was here when we took on the new name Don Riggio. She has been part of the Pacific Don Riggio School community for 21 years. Although I have only personally known Karen for the last 2 years, I can say that all of her past principals and I share the same sentiment. Karen is the type of teacher who shows care and concern for each of her students, is very attentive to their social and emotional needs, and develops strong relationships with her teammates and her support staff. She is a strong leader, seeks out solutions, and maintains a learning-centered classroom. Karen's support staff also speak highly of her. Casey and Jamie joined her team this year, and both regard Karen as loving and caring to all who come into her classroom. She welcomed both of them with open arms and exuded positive energy. Her right-hand paraprofessional and friend, Susan Sanders, had this to say: "I've worked with Karen for 16 years. I have learned an incredible amount from this wonderful woman. She has taught me so much about SDC services and, more importantly, the children. Her natural ability to connect with and encourage the children to meet their goals is uncanny. She has a love for her job and more so for the kids. I have seen her over the moon at a student's hard-fought accomplishment, and I have seen her in tears over their disappointments. She has taught me many ways to approach and appreciate all of the students that we meet. She has helped to shape the lives of students and coworkers. I will be forever grateful for our partnership in the classroom and our friendship, which has helped me become the para and the person I am today." Thank you, Karen, for your constant commitment to your craft and to the students you worked with for over 28 years here in Lincoln Unified. We were lucky to have you. Don Riggio is going to miss you terribly. This is the end of an era. You have been a staple in the special education community, and we appreciate your service and your dedication. We wish you well in this next chapter. We hope it is filled with plenty of rest at first, and then time spent doing what you love most. Here's to the start of your next adventure. Cheers.
Thank you, Rebecca. Okay, next up is going to be Jennifer Hayes, our Director of Early Childhood Education.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very honored tonight to be able to recognize Ralph Ontiveros. Hi, Ralph. Hope you're well. Ralph began his journey with Lincoln Unified as an instructional aide for our Title I program in 1994. He worked at John R. Williams School for 5 years and loved the kids. In 1999, Ralph was hired as an outreach worker where he spent numerous hours working with students and their families. He touched the lives of many at John R. Williams for 3 years, Lincoln Elementary for 6 years, and what was then John McCandless High School for 2 years. Ralph connected easily and built strong relationships with all students, but had a special bond with the older ones at John McCandless. In 2010, I was lucky enough to have Ralph join the early childhood education team as a parent educator. Ralph spent his last 9 years providing scheduled weekly home visits to Lincoln Unified families with children ages 0 to 5. Ralph always shared his curriculum, right, Ralph? But spent most of his time listening, really listening, and providing families with the information they needed the most. He has a unique ability to tell it like it is, and families love that about him. He's well respected in our community, and families still ask for Mr. Ralph. There's a lot I will miss about Ralph, as he not only provided our Lincoln community with the support they needed, he helped me too. Ralph shared his personal knowledge and life lessons with all of us, and he will never be forgotten. Congratulations, Ralph, and thank you for your 25 years of service.
Thanks so much, Jen. Next up, we have Jennifer Heck, principal at John R. Williams School.
Hi, it is my honor to celebrate two retirees tonight from John R. Williams. Diana Carmona began her career in Lincoln Unified on September 4th, 1980, serving as a paraprofessional at Lincoln Elementary School in the English Second Language program. Diana was with Lincoln Elementary for 6 years, then moved to Claudia Landine, where she served as a paraprofessional for 9 years. From Claudia Landine, Diana next served at Village Oaks for 12 years, and her final move was to John R. Williams to serve as a paraprofessional for 12 years. Diana Carmona served the students and staff of the Lincoln Unified School District for a total of 39 years. Remarkable. That number alone blows us away. 39 years. These statistics just shared with you, all those sites and years served are enough to give one pause. Yet those numbers only begin to tell the story of this amazing woman. Diana has an excellent work ethic and consistently goes above and beyond in her commitment to her work and her students and their families. The words Diana's colleagues repeatedly used to describe her over the years are patient, gentle, positive attitude, and loving nature. Time and again, it is said of her that she has a special way with children. I am told that at John R. Williams for many years, Diana was the only bilingual employee in the after-school program, and that she dedicated her time to teaching students to develop their Spanish language skills. One of her colleagues stated that Diana is an anchor for our Spanish-speaking community, and about this statement, I have no doubt. Other colleagues gave her some of the best compliments an educator could receive, sharing that Diana has the trust of students, parents, and staff, and to see her calm, loving manner when she would work with children was an inspiration. I believe our Title I teacher said it best. Mrs. Carmona is truly one of a kind. She is the most gracious of ladies. Her calm and nurturing demeanor endeared her to all, but especially to our most challenging students. Mrs. Carmona has the patience of a saint. Her capacity for loving our students, their families, and our staff is never ending. What a testimony to an incredible person. One person, one district, 4 sites, 39 years, thousands of lives touched. One person who impacted the lives of so many. Even in her retirement, Diana continues to change the lives of children. She came to visit us not long after her last day, holding a beautiful infant that she was fostering. One person changing the world. Congratulations, Diana. You will be missed. My next retiree is Mr. Al Magina. Al began his career in Lincoln Unified on January 14th, 1985, serving as a custodian at 2 schools, Village Oaks and Tully C. Knowles. In 1989, Al became the lead custodian at Village Oaks Elementary, serving for a total of 22 years until Village Oaks closed. Next, Al moved to John R. Williams Elementary School, where he continued as lead custodian for 12 years. Al served the students and staff of Lincoln Unified with distinction and dedication for 34 years. Al's hard work ethic and attention to detail earned him a reputation in the district for the most meticulous campus in Lincoln Unified. Al is cheerful, kind to students and staff alike, and committed to his work. His friendly, supportive, positive attitude endears him to his colleagues. Our students love Al. On a visit to school after Christmas, students came running up to hug him and express how much they missed him. Colleagues wrote that Al's work ethic and relationships with his staff and students is beyond compare. He is like a ninja, taking care of business expediently while in the background. Al is a huge 49ers fan, and this is no secret. He loves to host large soirees in his backyard, and I understand that he is quite an MC. But what stands out most about Al is not only his outstanding service and dedication to his craft, but his personal character. His friends and coworkers wrote, "You would be hard-pressed to find someone more 49er faithful than Al. His capacity for dedication extends far past the Niners. He is the consummate family man. He always lights up when speaking of his wife, Maria, and their family." Another said, his love for people is infectious. Even while facing incredible physical challenges and obstacles, Al never backs down or falters. One friend and coworker said he has a strength and courage that cannot be matched. He is the true meaning of an inspiration. I hope one day I can be even half the human being he is. Another shared, I hope my boys become men with the same positive attitude, work ethic, determination, and moral compass that I have seen in Mr. Al. A close friend of his put it all together when he said, Al is a true gentleman. Al Magina has unwaveringly served the students and staff of Lincoln Unified for 34 years and has set the standard for others to follow. Thank you for never compromising, walking in integrity, and for most of all, setting the bar high. Congratulations, Al.
Thanks so much, Jen. Next up is going to be Matt Uris, Assistant Principal at Lincoln High School.
Hi, everyone. So this is my 5th year in the district, and 4 out of the 5 years I've had retirees. So I don't know if that's saying something about me or just when I got to the district. Tonight I'm going to be speaking on behalf of 2 wonderful people, both whom joined the teaching professions later in their careers. Since COVID-19, the transition obviously has been hard for all of us. It was probably a little bit easier for my first honoree, Bruce Roberson, because his program is already online. But Renee Wergler, my other honoree, has been diligently working to prep her kids on her APUSH test, which happens this Friday. And so we're probably taking time that she would have otherwise been reviewing with her students. So starting with Bruce. Bruce Roberson began his full-time teaching career in Lincoln Unified in August of 2005 after a long career in both the petroleum industry and in high technology. According to Principal Debbie Homerood, he started at Lincoln High as a, quote, strong addition to the math department with positive student interactions. Positive student interactions are an understatement. When I became Bruce's supervisor 5 years ago, I immediately noticed how he interacted with not only his students, but also his peers. He is a strong presence. As he often walks campus during lunch, he is excitedly greeted by students and staff alike. Seldom have I ever encountered Bruce without him offering his hand and often a bro hug. As I entered Lincoln High School in the 2015-16 year, Bruce had transitioned to the brand new credit recovery program. In this position, Bruce has assisted a significant number of LHS students gain back crucial credits in order to graduate on time. He has been a strong supporter and advisor for the Lincoln High Black Student Union. Bruce and the BSU have always put on an educational, enjoyable Black History Month assembly. He was also instrumental in bringing an African American leadership parent group to Lincoln Unified. Bruce is going to be extremely missed at Lincoln High School, and by me personally. I know he is ready to move on to his next challenge, staying busy in retirement. Bruce, COVID-19 has taken a lot from us all, and I'm not going to lie, it has robbed me of one last bro hug at the end of this speech. Good luck to you, Bruce. Moving on to Renee Wergler. As Terry Dudapolli mentioned earlier, she's been a longtime social science teacher at the high school, but she actually started her career in Lincoln Unified way back in 1981 when she was a substitute teacher, before she moved into working for herself in the childcare profession. In 1994, Renee came back to Lincoln Unified and was hired full-time as a special ed paraprofessional at Brookside School. She, in that time, got her teaching credential and decided to move into the classroom. So in 2004, after a successful career at Brookside, she was hired at Lincoln High School in the social science department. In her letter of recommendation from then Brookside Principal Terry Asplin, he stated, Renee is caring and willing to do whatever is necessary to guarantee student success. That was an understatement. Quotes like this have been a common theme in Renee's evaluations over the years. Tony Shaw referred to her as a superb teacher and a great team player. Kelly Flanagan, rest her soul, called Renee a natural and a truly excellent teacher. I can only begin to echo those remarks. She has one of those classrooms that me as a former social science teacher had a really hard time leaving because she just had these amazing, engaging lessons going on at all times. Her APUSH students love coming to the class dressed up for all the many activities that she has that are very involved, such as her dinner parties and her speed dating activities. You have to see them to truly understand how amazing they were. Her freshmen were always engaged and open to learning new things in not only world geography, but also health class, which, as you can imagine, is a pretty interesting topic to teach to 13, 14, 15-year-olds. Lincoln High School is not only losing a key member of our social science and advanced placement teams, just an amazing teacher. Renee, I hope you and Joel have an amazing retirement in Chicago.
Thanks so much, Matt. Next up is going to be Shane Conklin, principal at Mabel Barron School.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, Mabel Barron has the honor of speaking about three of our most seasoned and beloved teachers who will be retiring with exactly 100 years of combined teaching experience at the end of this year. Dana Miller-Tart, Nancy Collins, and Mary Beth Fallett have been fixtures at Mabel Barron for decades. They have contributed countless hours to the success of their students, their staff mates, and the Mabel Barron community, and we are eternally grateful for their years of selfless service and dedication. Let's begin by speaking about Dana. Dana Miller-Tart has been a teacher and an administrator for the past 31 years in both the Lodi Unified and Lincoln Unified school districts. Dana began her teaching career in Lodi Unified, where for 10 years she taught self-contained classes at the Henderson School when it was the Gate Magnet School and at John Muir Elementary. During those years, she taught 3rd, 4th, and 6th grades, and in 1995, she was named the San Joaquin County Teacher of the Year. She then became the vice principal at Wagner Holt Elementary for 7 years before transitioning her services to Lincoln Unified in 2006. She served as an administrator in Lincoln Unified for 3 years before the budget cuts hits in 2009, at which time she returned to the classroom. For the next 11 years, she taught 3rd, 5th, and 7th and 8th grades at Mabel Barron. And if that weren't enough, throughout that time, she also taught evening classes at UOP, Delta College, and at the San Joaquin County Office of Education. During her time at Mabel Barron, she was very involved in student activities and campus events. She ran the Student Council program, was the advisor for CJSF, and hosted and supervised the 7th and 8th grade dances. Principal Ellen Weirs remarked to Dana that you have done a lot to promote our 7th and 8th grade program and give the students positive experiences. Thank you for doing Student Council. Ellen also commented, you have done so much for me and for the school this year. You have handled teaching and administration very well. Thank you. Dana's positive relationship with her colleagues also extended to her current team. Her 5th grade partner teacher, Ed Gerke, had this to say. Dana is a flexible teammate who always focuses on the whole child. She uses her artistic talents and STEM activities to constantly engage her students. Not only was she supportive as a vice principal and peer, but she was my eldest son's teacher. He thrived in her calm classroom environment with her engaging lessons. I'm eternally thankful for the important role she played in not just my life, but the hundreds of students' lives she has touched over the years. Dana, on behalf of all of your current and former students and their families, and all of the fellow educators you have worked with, thank you for your 31 years of devoted service, and good luck in the next chapter of your journey. You'll be sorely missed. Next is Nancy Collins. Nancy Collins has taught kindergarten, 1st, and 2nd grade for the past 35 years. Prior to beginning her teaching stint in Lincoln Unified, Nancy taught 1st and 2nd grades at Carden School for 13 years. She actually taught for 5 years, then stayed home to raise her kids for 7 years, then returned to Carden to teach for an additional 8 years. She started teaching in Lincoln Unified at the beginning of the 1998-99 school year, when she was hired by Dean Whelan to teach 2nd grade with Ann Rossi, Luzanne Conrad, and Lori Haas. Dean was clearly impressed with Nancy's work. As he commented in 1999, Nancy demonstrates much support for her students. They know she cares. She is completing an excellent first year at Mabel Barron. It is a real pleasure to work with her. After 2 years in 2nd grade, Nancy taught kindergarten for 3 years before landing in her eventual home in 1st grade for the final 17 years of her career. Throughout this time, she has established herself as one of the pillars of the Mabel Barron staff. She is caring and thoughtful, and there is no limit to what she will do for her students and for her fellow educators. Her current 1st grade partner teacher, Vanessa McNamara, remarked, If a staff member ever needs to borrow any kind of supply, Nancy is always willing to share whatever she has, or she shows up with what they need plus 10 more and tells them to keep whatever they don't use. Over the years, she has contributed to the Mabel Barron culture in many ways. She has made costumes for our school musical. She helped make safety signs for the crossing guards in front of the school. She worked with the parent of a student who was a science teacher at Delta College and organized a hands-on science experience for all 80 first graders. And she is the organizer and gracious host of our annual volunteer tea, which celebrates our family classroom helpers. But one of the things we will miss most about Nancy is the fact that she is the only one on our staff who knows how to fix our laminator. So Nancy, don't go too far. We're definitely gonna be giving you a call soon. All joking aside, Nancy is an extremely important member of our staff. People look to her for advice and guidance, and she is completely generous with her time and her energy. Her partner teacher for the past 17 years, Mary Beth Fallett, had this to say about Nancy. Nancy's calm and serene demeanor make her one of the easiest teachers to get along with. She is always asking if she can lend a hand and then quietly goes out of her way to help without bringing attention to herself. She is the first to volunteer to take over a recess duty for someone who needs it or to copy papers for the team. She is sweet, kind, and thoughtful, and she has become one of my best friends. It has truly been a blessing to have been teaching partners with Nancy Collins for the past 17 years. Nancy, you've made a lasting impression on all the students you have taught, on all of the teachers you have worked with, and on the Mabel Barron community as a whole. Thank you for the countless hours you have spent on making our school a better place. Your legacy will endure long after you have gone. We wish you well. Congratulations. Mary Beth Fallett. Mary Beth Fallett has been a teacher at the K-12 and community college level, both in the United States and internationally, for the past 34 years. Before jumping into the world of elementary education, Mary Beth actually worked in the private sector in banking for 10 years. During that time, she earned her master's degree at the University of San Francisco, then moved to the Philippines in 1986 and taught kindergarten and fourth grade at a school for international students where her husband, Jerry, was the principal. Mary Beth returned to the United States and began teaching computer and business classes at Delta College in 1990 and continued to do so until 2015. She joined Lincoln Unified in the year 2000 when she was hired to teach 7th and 8th grades at Mabel Barron. After 1 year in middle school, Mary Beth switched to first grade where she has remained for the past 19 years. Since then, Mary Beth has become a literal legend in the Mabel Barron community. She has the perfect personality for a first grade teacher, and the kids and their parents absolutely adore her. Nancy Collins remarked, Mary Beth loves to have fun and made sure every day was a positive adventure for her students. Whether it was taking her students out to tend the school garden, which incidentally she created, or organizing water assemblies for the whole school, or hosting the traditional Thanksgiving play in the library, Mary Beth made sure that no one was ever bored in Mrs. Fallett's class. Her current partner teacher, Vanessa McNamara, said, Mary Beth somehow has always been able to juggle planning, prepping, and helping others, all with a smile on her face, and she makes it look so easy. But Mary Beth is not only enjoyable to be around, she is also widely respected by her colleagues. She is an extremely hard worker, and you will frequently see her on campus late into the evening and on weekends. Her first principal, Dr. Louise King, commented, Mary Beth works day and night to develop lessons in social science and math for her students. She thinks through lessons and adjusts them to improve instruction based on student learning. And Principal Ellen Weirs said in 2003, you have done a lot for our school this year. You created and maintained a computer lab. You have been a BITSA support provider. You have been on our school site council for the last 2 years. Thank you. You are a wonderful, wonderful role model for both of our student teachers, and you are an asset to our staff. Mary Beth has also changed with the times, becoming our site ed tech 3 years ago, and she has served invaluable roles throughout her career that most will never see, including creating the schedule for before and after school yard supervision duties, and most recently, making facial masks out of old Mabel Barron spiritware and handing them out to the staff. Could be a cottage industry, Mary Beth. But the legacy that Mary Beth will leave on our staff and on the students that she has taught is one of pure graciousness and joy. She finds reward in giving to others and in making the experience of going to school a happy one. She has touched the lives of hundreds of children and their families over the past 20 years, and she has carved out a place in the pantheon of Mabel Barron. Thank you, Mary Beth, for all the time you have spent in the halls of Mabel Barron. Our students and their families are better off for having been in your class, and your colleagues are better people for having worked with you. Enjoy the next chapter with your family. You've earned it. Congratulations.
Okay, I'm going to introduce the next retiree, Chrissy Betker. There we go. Tonight, I have the privilege of honoring Chrissy Betker. Chrissy is truly a homegrown member of the Lincoln family, having attended TCK as a student in the very same location where she will end her career as principal. Chrissy has worked for Lincoln Unified since 1987, having devoted 33 years to our district. Chrissy also served our Lincoln community as a very involved parent. Both of her daughters are Lincoln alum, and in fact, one is also teaching with us. Chrissy taught at multiple schools and in multiple grade levels. She's been a teacher, an instructional coach, an assistant principal, and a principal. She also served as a consulting teacher, a PAR chair, and provided support in summer school for many years. A walk through Chrissy's personnel file reveals one positive comment and glowing evaluation after another. Just a few of the comments written, and I would say they're as true today as they were then, included this from her first year of teaching. Chris has approached her first year with dedication and enthusiasm. She is a positive force on the faculty. She is full of energy and a zest for life. She has a caring, compassionate attitude. A few years later, an evaluator wrote, "You are the kind of teacher that mentors point out to new teachers as possessing that quality so hard to quantify, a sense of kids and how they learn, coupled with planning and organization." I have had the pleasure of working with Chrissy, and what I know most about her is that this work has been more than a job for her. It is part and parcel of who she is. She takes it seriously, she cares deeply about it, and she cares deeply about the role she plays and the outcome she supports, and it matters to her every day. She is not someone who will walk away easily, and our students are certainly better off for having had her as a teacher or a principal. Best of luck, Chrissy. You clearly have earned the right to some time with your precious family, and we will all truly miss you. Thank you for your many years of service.
Thanks so much, Kelly. Well, that was interesting. I lost electricity over here, but I was able to jump right back in. So hopefully there wasn't too much of a downtime. I'm glad I'm not the one hosting the meeting. Thanks again, Anthony, for keeping us up and running. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, all of our retirees received their bells of service today with their names and years of service engraved. And when you add up all of the years of service of all of our retirees, there's a total of 572 years of service to Lincoln Unified School District. That's just amazing, amazing. So this is a point in the evening where I would invite up our Board of Trustees and they would award each of you your service bell. They are here tonight and they are doing so virtually. Our Board President, Kathleen Solari, is going to say a few words on the board's behalf tonight. Kathleen?
Thank you, Michelle. So again, good evening, everybody. And congratulations on to all the retirees on your retirement from Lincoln Unified. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, thank you for all your years of service. No matter your job description, each of you has played a significant and unique role in the education, support, and development of the thousands of students who have attended school in our district. Your contributions have been essential in making the students who they are today and in making our district the premier district in the county. The times we are in remind us of the value of education and of a school environment that nurtures as well as educates. I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say that we would much prefer to congratulate you in person, shake your hands, give you a hug, and thank you individually. Although that is not possible tonight, Let that not diminish the magnitude of our sincere appreciation for your service to Lincoln Unified. We wish you much happiness in the years to come as you enjoy your well-deserved retirement. And again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Kathleen, I think this would be a great time for all of the board members to take your service bells and maybe give them a ring for our
Sure.
retirees. I didn't want to think you got those bells for nothing. We needed to put them to use. So that brings us to the end of our program. And I want to thank each of you for the privilege of the ability to honor you tonight. Thank you for your service to the district. And please know that your celebration doesn't have to end when the Zoom call does. Keep it going and have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.